Welcome to the greatest sports show in the world. What's going on, everybody? It's Nick. Good week. I guess I have to say that. Good week to everyone. Hope everyone's having a good week, obviously, and I hope you're still able to play hockey. And if you're not, I hope you get to soon. I hope we get to soon. Super stoked to be back recording again. Before we get started, you can follow us. Nick and Co Show. That's the name right now. We're rebranding, as I mentioned last episode, to the BLPA Big Show. So hopefully that comes together quite quickly. You can find me at Nicker Jones on Twitter and the Nicker Jones on Instagram. Last episode with Kara DeBella, we talked about how we were doing like the BLPA Big Show, and we were going to find some new co-hosts, and we were going to do tryouts. So continuing that, we have a new, I guess, contestant is what we'll call her, a new contestant to see if she's got the stuff to stick around on the BLPA Big Show. So today we have Trish Dangle. Trish, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. I'm a little nervous about competing for this role. I don't know if I have the beer chug in 5 seconds or less, so I might have to train on that.
Well, listen, beer chugging is only part of the total package, all right? So you don't have to be the best beer chugger. You just have to be good enough that you average out to be one of the best. Kind of like Top Gun, the movie.
That still sounds like a lot of pressure, but I'm up for it.
Okay, well, as long as you're up for it, we're good. So, Trish, why don't you tell the good folks who you are, where you're from, a little bit about you, like a quick little intro, a little elevator pitch on Trish.
Sure. I'm a nobody. Plain and simple. I grew up in Canada, in Ontario, just outside of Niagara Falls. Now I'm living in Chicagoland in Illinois. I work with kids during the day, and then at night I spend my time in the parking lot at the rink after games, hopefully after a win, beer with the team. I'm on the board for the Women's Central Hockey League here in the Midwest, so we cover 5 different states, and that's pretty exciting. Other than that, yeah, not a whole lot about me.
Whoa, okay, wait. Let's go back. You're on Central Women's Hockey League, is that what you said?
Women's Central Hockey League.
Women's Central Hockey League. It spans 5 states. How does that work?
7 different divisions, so we span from like beginner all the way up to former college players, whatever. We are in Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, and Wisconsin. So women's teams all over the place, and we travel for games if need be. But a lot of our teams are in the Chicagoland area.
Interesting. I like the spanning leagues, because it almost makes you feel when you travel you're almost like a pro hockey player. And because I run like tournaments and leagues and that kind of stuff, I like to tell people I'm a pro hockey player because I get paid and I play hockey. I don't see why people have a problem with that. But it is cool to see like a league where you can travel and do that kind of stuff. So that's pretty interesting. Well, before we get going too far, I also have to thank some people, just because, I mean, they support our show. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/beerleagueinc, and we have a lot of people that support us. They really help us out. We do a lot of giveaways. I see there's been like a 2 giveaway. There's been a hoodie giveaway. We've given away draft experiences. And so I want to say thank you to everyone that supports us on Patreon. We really appreciate you guys. Hey, anyone else out there, if you like the show, if you like the Beer League Players Association, and you have $2, hey, we want it. We want your money, all right? But there's a couple guys that are just, they're I would say royalty, but it's more like deity, because they're beer league gods. So we have to pray to these beer league gods every single week. Can you hear me still?
Yep, all good.
I think
Did you cut out somewhere?
There we go. All right, is that better? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sometimes my jack comes out of the mixer. But anyway, okay. So we're praying. Yeah. So Mr. Chris Nall, I say Steve because that's his alias on Facebook. Mr. Nall and Mr. Jason Minchie, they're beer league gods. They support us to the highest level. They've supported me before even BLPA. Prior to that, they were our main supporters, and they're back and they make things happen. And so let's just bow our heads a little bit and just a quick little prayer to the beer league gods. Can you hear their theme music here?
Yep, sure can.
So let's bow our heads. We just want we want to give thanks and praise to Mr. Naw and Mr. Minch for heaping their gracious rewards upon us. And all we ask is for more goals, more saves if you're a goalie, more greens and regulations if you play golf, more dingers if you're playing ball, or more strikeouts if you're a pitcher. But most of all, we ask for more beers in the parking lot. In the Beer League God's name we pray. Nolan Minchie. Amen. So that's that. A little pray, it's always good to, pray. It never hurts to ask for more beer, right?
Never.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So anyway, so that's that. So back to Trish. So Trish Dangle, I got one question before you tell us a little bit more about your hockey playing. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be on this podcast, can we just call you Trish Dangle?
I mean, it would be absolute false advertising, but I would be all about it.
I've learned in this world, you don't actually have to be able to do or be what you claim. As long as you claim it and no one says that's not true, then it just is.
Might have some people saying that's not true, but
we'll take our chances.
Fight it.
We'll take our chance. So here we are with Trish Dangle. So what? I mean, you're playing women's hockey. You're on the board. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your hockey playing history. Have you been playing for a while? What position do you play? All that good stuff.
You wouldn't know it by watching me play now, but I have been playing pretty much my whole life. My mom grew up playing as well, so she got us all into it really early. She played in Buffalo growing up. So I played travel in Buffalo a little bit, and then I played house league, high school hockey, and now I just play beer league. I didn't play in college or anything, just pick up here and there during college, and now I play men's league and the women's league.
Okay, right. Okay, well then let's ask this question. Since we're here, and I asked it to Kara last week. There was a big, I don't know how active you are in the BLPA, but I know that's where we connected, where we hooked up over on the BLPA. And there was a big topic about women changing in the dressing room with males. What is your thoughts on that?
I mean, I could talk about that all day because it's like there's so many different opinions. Actually, shout out to our Discord group, the BLPA Discord group. We had a little chat about it in there. It all depends on the team. Tournaments, I am always changing with the guys. That's just kind of how it works. It's not like you get extra locker rooms, and a lot of the arenas don't have like a girls only locker room. Right now during COVID, definitely just changing with the girls. We'll try and find like the ref room or a closet or some other spot to change in just to get some space away from the guys. In men's league, we're definitely changing in our own room, but our rink has its own girls locker room. So we get the space in there, don't have to deal with the stank of all the guys. So it depends on the situation.
Hey, that stink just means we're working hard. Looking.
Yeah, okay. We have that too, but it's not as bad. The air in those rooms are thick.
Okay.
Like that is thick air, and I'm not about that.
Okay. Hey, some ladies love the thick air. I don't know. So you're not opposed to it. I mean, you've been around it. It's basically whatever the team likes.
Yeah, whatever the team is about. Like there's always going to be jealous wives, girlfriends.
That's the thing that blew my mind. Like,
yeah.
What? I never understood that part of the thing. Like, I can understand like ladies feeling uncomfortable because there's creepy dudes, but there's also creepy women too. I've been in some locker rooms where, there was some creepy ladies too, where I felt uncomfortable. And it takes a lot to make me feel uncomfortable. But like the whole like jealous wives and girlfriends, like I was always, when I hear it, I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like a very good relationship to be a part of if you can't even be in the same, 25 feet away from some naked woman, right? Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're not in there to have a peek at everybody. You're in there to change and like shoot the shit. That's the thing. That's the one thing that kind of is a bummer about having a women's only locker room is like you don't get that locker room time. When I was a goalie on a new team for rec league, I didn't know anybody on my team, and I was changing separately, so I didn't get to know any names, faces. I had no rapport with the team because you're not on the bench making friends. You're in the net away from everybody, and it's really hard to build that relationship when you're in the locker room. That's where it's all made. So
Wait a second. You're a goalie?
oh, unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately.
I am a part-time goalie, full-time defender.
Hey, let it be known. Write it down, everyone out there listening. Everyone that says Nick hates goalies, it's untrue. I have a goalie on my show. I brought her on under my own accord. I wasn't forced to. I don't hate goalies.
We'll see if I'm no longer invited back to this podcast, then we'll know it's because I'm a goalie. Put that on the record too.
Hey, no, listen, I kind of call myself out, so I can't now go and say, oh, sorry, she's a goalie, can't have her on. That wouldn't be right, and I'm not a liar. But
no, you'll find a different excuse.
Oh yeah, okay, another excuse. So we talked about a tryout, me, Kara and myself, and I think Kara's going to be on a few more times. We had a good time chatting. We talked about the actual, like the contest, the competition, who wants to be a podcaster with the BLPA, and we're like, okay, what do we got to do? So we were like, feats of strength, maybe mind games, trivia, that kind of stuff. So here's what I asked Carrie. I said, I'm having Trish Dangle on the show tonight as a competitor, a viable competitor for being on the show. What should we ask her? And she said, ask her to ask her to explain what the horseshoe is without saying the words puck or skate.
To a real bad start because I have no idea what you're talking about when you say horseshoe.
Okay. I didn't start playing hockey until beer league, but the horseshoe is like the drill where you get in the corners and like one person's in the corner or everyone's in the corner. One person skates up to the blue line and does a horseshoe, and the other corner sends him a puck, and then he takes off and they just crisscross pucks.
Oh,
it's a warm-up drill.
Yeah. I've never heard it called the horseshoe before.
All right, well, explain it without saying the words puck or skate. I just explained it. Like that had defeated the whole purpose.
Well, I mean, I didn't know what it was. How were you going to work that otherwise? So here's how I would explain that. The drill you do when coach says, get in the corners.
Got it. Okay. I've never had a coach, so I've never had that. So, okay. I guess that works.
You're lucky.
I guess
you missed out on a lot of sprints.
Well, here's the deal. I can remember playing like high school baseball, and the coach just liked to run us. Like I never understood like why is a baseball like I'm watching baseball like you have to run 90 feet. Sometimes 180.
Run that 90 feet fast.
Well, sometimes. I mean, listen, if I get a single that makes it out to center field, I'm not busting my ass down the line. I'm gonna the base hit trot, right? I'm just like, okay, I did it,
You're much more confident than I am. It didn't matter how far I hit it. I was booking it like it was right there because I'm so slow and nervous that I was like, they're going to get me.
Oh, wait, do you play softball?
Yeah.
Have you ever been thrown out from the outfield at first base?
Oh, probably. I'm very slow.
That's literally like the worst. That's
embarrassing. I know.
Like, listen, I've struck out in slow pitch, looking, not swinging.
That's
striking out, swinging, way worse. But I think
that's a case of beer.
100% it is. I loved when my teammates struck out. I hated it when I struck out looking. But to be honest, the umpire was wrong. It wasn't a strike. But I digress.
Always.
But I can only imagine, like, striking out, swinging to me would be super embarrassing. But hitting a single to right field and getting thrown out at first base, the worst. Okay, hitting it to center field would be even worse. Right? If you hit a single...
Well, yeah, if you're getting thrown out, for sure.
And I think
it's worse. You just hit it directly back at the pitcher and their reflex catches it. And I'm like, well,
you're not supposed to do that, Trish. Like that's called hitting the middle, and that's frowned upon in the men's league game.
Listen, some of us can't. Some of us are just happy to hit it.
Oh, okay.
We're not putting it anywhere.
No, like I played some pretty competitive slow pitch, and those guys, like that's the ultimate form of disrespect, is to hit the middle.
Absolutely.
Right, but sometimes you have to disrespect people. Just let them know, hey,
wow.
You're the boss, right? Hey,
real spiteful.
I remember a dude, have you seen those pitchers that like wave their arms and like pitch it in between their legs? And one guy was just being a dickwad, and he did that, and then he did it behind his back in between his legs. So I hit the motherfucker right back to where it came from. And I told him, I didn't even run. I said, middle's open, bud. That kind of stopped it, right? So, I mean, it gets pretty, I mean, I play a lot of hockey, and I don't think I've seen a hockey game, the most heated hockey game that I've ever been involved in compares nothing to the most heated softball game.
You've got to be kidding.
No, I know it sounds completely asinine, but I mean, I've seen some softball fights get out of hand, man. Actually, sadly enough, a buddy I knew that I played with, I wasn't living there anymore, but he got in a softball fight out in the parking lot and passed away because a dude clocked him with a baseball bat inside the head. Yeah, it was nuts. So,
I have never seen a softball game get out of hand like that.
Dude, I mean, listen, you start mixing dudes and drinking, and you're always and athletic competition. And, you know, you're almost...
Yeah, but we do that at hockey, and we've all got knives strapped to our feet.
Well, you've never... Well, there's been hockey fights. I mean, I just read an article. Article was a long time ago. Dude got pissed off at a dude, went in the locker room, shit in his glove, in his bag. So, I mean, that's pretty... Oh, my God. Think of how heated you have to be to go shit in someone's bag. In the face. Me too. I don't want anyone shit in my hockey bag.
No.
So...
That's going to be my new nightmare.
Well, hey, I'm hoping that it never happens to you, but because you're on the podcast now, I kind of hope it does. All for content. Yeah, just for the story. You want the content,
yeah.
Listen.
Well, I can start pissing people off more than I already do.
Maybe we just set it up. Like, maybe we set it up. Like, would you, for the brand, be willing to go and poop in someone's hockey bag?
Would I poop in someone's hockey bag? I don't think my guilty Canadian conscience would allow me to do that.
Yeah,
I need like a signed agreement from the person's from the person whose bag I'm pooping.
Well, it would be for the brand, but we're not telling someone we're pooping in their hockey bag. It's still going to be a surprise. We got to film the reaction. I don't want to film
surprise. I don't think surprise is the right word.
I don't want to film you pooping, but I want to film.
I would hope not.
I want to film the person when they come in the locker room and they find out someone's just shit in their bag. Yeah. Like that's called content gold. All right. It just is.
Can I instead pay someone to poop in someone's bag?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to, right? I mean, either you're working for the podcast, do it for the podcast, or we pay someone to do it. But that's gotta be a lot of hate. That you gotta have a lot of hate in your heart to poop in someone's hockey bag, for sure.
I'll be honest, one of my teams, I feel like that would almost be taken as a sign of love. Like if they walked in and saw poop in their bag and like it was one of the teammates, they'd be like, "Oh, so nice."
Oh, Rebecca just shit in my bag. She really loves me.
Rebecca just shit. So I'm talking my men's league team because women aren't that
Robert just dropped a deuce in my bag. Wow, loves me. Merry Christmas. I got your shit in a box right here.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, moment, I guess we'll make it happen. I guess. I mean,
I have like a list of people I could pay. Not a lot of money to poop in somebody's bag. Here's
the deal. Like I see a bunch of videos online of like bar down, like they play beer league and they do their cliche, like, oh, here's our chirp video and here's our prank videos. Yeah.
We taped our buddies' blades.
Yeah, like why we are a cut above the rest is our prank videos
we poop in hockey bags.
Yes, exactly. Bingo. Why don't more people listen?
The next step up from that is piss in a water bottle.
That you know what? I mean, there are lines, right? And I know I know most people would say pooping in a hockey bag is a line. That hasn't crossed mine.
A lot of people.
But I don't know. I mean, unless someone just likes to drink pee. I mean, R. Kelly loved pee, right? Yeah. So maybe there's someone that would get off on that. I don't know. We're not that kind of show. We're not a family show, but at time being, we're not a sexual fetish show yet. And so, I mean, let's keep that one in our hopper. Okay. Right. And we'll see how our show progresses. If we need the views, we need the views, you know? I mean, it's just
whatever we need to do for content.
Hey, listen.
I'll keep that one in the hockey bag right next to the pile of poop. And if we need it, it's there.
Okay, gotcha. I'm not sure. Like we're watching each other on video. I'm not sure why my thing keeps going out of
Yeah,
focus.
you're blurry right
Yeah,
now.
I know. It's because I move around.
You're like Bigfoot over there.
Perfect. Nick Squatch. All right. Why? When we started talking and you said, "Oh, I want to come on the show. This is what I want to talk about." I said, "Good. Well, I need someone to bring their own topics. So let's go with where your topics lie, and let's see what we can do."
Where my topics lie. All right. So big thing that's been sticking in my brain since I heard about it at the beginning of the year is Jason Pominville, who is one of my favorite ex-Sabres. So I grew up in the Niagara region in Ontario, so a little bit in between Toronto and Buffalo. I would never call myself a Toronto fan. That would be embarrassing. So I'm a Buffalo fan. And Jason Pominville was one of my favorite players, hands down. And he is now back playing in Buffalo, but in Beer League. So he's playing in the Performax League in Amherst, which is just outside of Buffalo. And he is absolutely lighting it up there. He is the ringer of all ringers in their Beer League.
I don't know if I can go as far as saying he's an NHL superstar. He was.
It'd be rude of you not to.
Well, I mean, I guess we're cutting.
In my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're splitting hairs here, but I don't know how many people would view him as an NHL superstar, but he was a very productive NHL player. He put up a lot of points. He played well. And so it doesn't surprise me that he went down to the Beer League, would say Performax? The Beer League Performax, probably beginner division. He seems like the type of guy that would do that. Scumbag.
Wow.
Scumbag.
Wow.
Okay, I don't really know Jason
Absolutely
Pominville.
not.
He's probably not a scumbag.
But the thing, it sounds like he's not. Like, I mean, of course, you know, Buffalo hockey fans like die hard, and Pominville is a Buffalo boy. Like he's not officially retired from the NHL. If Buffalo offered him a contract, he'd be there in a heartbeat. He's just picky, right?
Well, I want to be honest with if Buffalo offered me a contract, I would also be there in a heartbeat, no matter how bad people think the Sabres are. I would definitely accept the contract. They're not a good hockey team. Like, what do you like? That's not some hot take. Ooh, hot take alert. Buffalo Sabres aren't very good at hockey. Like, that's just accepted reasoning.
But if anybody offered you a contract,
well, I wouldn't play for the Oilers.
I
wouldn't play for the Oilers.
Contract,
no, I wouldn't play. I would
on the contract, it says
off.
Someone's gonna poop in your hockey bag after every game. You'd be like, absolutely, sign me up.
Everyone but the Oilers. But I would probably join the Oilers and shit in Connor McDavid's hockey bag.
Whoa, you can't do that.
Yeah, I can.
You can't do that.
I can. And then
you wouldn't be able to leave the ring.
Then they can make a documentary about how Connor had
about your death.
No, about this hardship that Connor McDavid had and how he had to come back from this traumatizing event of somebody. Oh, this hardship of I got my bag shit in. So this is a big NHL story. I'm Connor McDavid. My bag was shit in. Like, you know. So yeah, I mean,
you might give him pink eye from that.
Well, you know what? And then he could blame his poor performance and another year of the Oilers missing the playoffs because he had pink eye for 2 weeks. So,
wow,
I care about this.
Found your Achilles heel here.
Hold on, I'm trying to look up Jason Pominville's stats in the Performax League.
Okay, so I've got his stats.
Oh, you have them.
You can't actually see them right now. I was trying to look up updated.
Well,
stats,
I have winner.
I wonder how he's doing.
Oh,
he's got 57 goals in 19 games.
You know what? For
tell me about that.
Okay, for an NHL guy, I mean, like, yeah, why wouldn't he? I mean, he has 105 total points. He's 57, 48 for 105 in 19 games. But that doesn't really impress me because I know beer leaguers here that never even played high school hockey that have 100 points in, 25 games because they're shitbags and they're good and they play in the lowest divisions. Like, they're just pieces of trash. It happens. So let's not act like Jason Pominville is special.
He's special. I'm saying this is a former NHLer playing, like, even if he came down to like Crystal Lake B League, like, he's still going to be leaps and bounds better than everybody out there. And you assume that a guy like that is going to, like, he's playing with his friends. He got on this team because it's his friend's team. or I mean, anyone would have him. It's not like you had to beg and plead to get on a team, but you would imagine, I'll hang back on defense. I'll just pass the puck. I'll make plays. No, he's like going out there and scoring a bunch of goals a game. Like, that's crazy.
Like, do you think he feels good about that? Like,
probably a little bit.
Like, do you think he's like,
I mean,
I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm out here in the beer leagues, 57 goals in 19 games, motherfuckers.
Probably not. But I mean, everybody's saying he's such a nice guy too. They're like all about him being there. Like, yeah, he scored a bunch of goals on us, but like, he's a super nice guy. It's like, I probably would act the same way, but at the same time,
what are you gonna do? Piss the guy off?
The puck, my dude.
Yeah, what are you gonna piss the guy off that just scored 57 goals in 19 games to see if he can make it 125? Like, you know, and I guess he does pass the puck because he has 48 assists too.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, he probably just made a pass.
Like, I wish, like I
he's making nice passes. That's all he's doing.
I'm literally looking at the stats, like the leading scorers in this league, and the next closest guy,
he's like double.
Yeah, 51 points in 21 games, 48 and 18. So he's double. I wish I could see the stand. Like,
railroading these people.
What if his team was in last place, but he had this many points? That would be the best situation possible. I would love that. You'd have to blame the goalie at that point, right? I mean, being a goalie.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of times goalies don't like to accept the blame, but if you have a guy on your team that has 105 points in 19 games and you're getting beat, like that's probably a goalie deal, right?
I would blame myself 1,000%. I blame myself anyway.
Do you think in this league, if Jason Palmville's scoring 105 points in 19 games and his goalie's losing every single game, that they probably make that goalie pay to play on this team?
You don't want to get into this discussion.
You asked me if I was going to bring it up.
That goalie is playing, and he has to bring beer every single game.
Okay, listen.
And he can't bring that Bud Light.
Oh, he has to bring the fancy stuff like Kokanee Gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got to pay more than $1 a beer.
Well,
you're going Kokanee. Wow. So here's the thing. You're living in Canada, and I come from Canada, so there's some crossover there. And you had Kara on, who's Canadian. I'm strictly thinking American beers right now.
Well, every American
Kokanee out here in Illinois.
Yeah, no, every American beer is only under $1. You come up here to Canada, and like $1 will get you a sip from that can.
Yeah, so you can't even. So I remember when Ontario raised like the beer prices because you'd be able to get Laker, Maker a Laker. It's $1 a beer. Not anymore. I'll
tell you what, when we were doing the draft experiences in the States, like some of the tournaments we had people that sponsored the draft party. So they just give us kegs. And then in places like Oklahoma City, we supplied the beer ourselves. And I just went to the liquor store and I was like, give me 40 cases of beer. And I walked out and it's like $10 a case. And I'm like, what? And I'm from Oklahoma. So, I mean, I knew, so it's not like I was surprised, but it's just like, you know, when it's my turn to buy beer here, it's just like, it's $55 every single time. Right. And then you go down there, like I could bring beer 6 games in a row in Oklahoma and pay the same that I paid here. But US dollar, Canadian dollar, I get that, but
even so, it does not even out. We live like all my family still lives back home, and they live close enough to the border that sometimes like they'll just hop over the border. Not right now, obviously. Normal times, they'll hop over the border to grab a case of beer because it's so much cheaper. Like,
but you can only bring back like one, right?
I can't remember how much. I should know because I bring home beer all the time when I go home to visit like local breweries, whatever. But
are you like you bring it to the States?
No,
or you bring it to Canada? Like, are you smuggling? Are you a beer smuggler?
Hey, let's not use the S word.
Oh, are you? I don't know what.
I'm bringing gifts.
Oh,
I'm bringing gifts to people. I'm a gift giver.
You're a beer fairy.
I am a beer fairy.
Okay.
Hey, I like that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I like. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Jason Palmville being in the beer leagues. Hey, good for him. But and you know what? Here's the I'm talking shit about him scoring that many goals, and I know damn good and well, if I could score 5 goals a game, I'm fucking doing it.
If I could score 1 goal a game,
well, I try really hard to do that. But if I could, like, I always bag on the ringers that just fucking take your foot off the gas, knowing damn good and well that I would likely put up 5 goals a game just because I could. But because I can't, fuck those guys.
No, I don't know that. I mean, here's me speaking for myself. If I wouldn't be able to do that. Again, the guilty Canadian conscience, which you might not have because you were born in
I'm
the
American,
States,
but
so you probably weren't bred with that. But I couldn't hop on to like a rec league game and light up a goalie there and feel good about myself
plenty,
after. Like
of Canadians here do that.
I'm not a jerk. Like I can't do that. I'll pass the puck, I'll make plays. But like, here's the thing. Even if you have a ringer playing down, like this is such a huge deal all the time. Like in any league you're talking about, 100%. Like the one guy who played college, like high level college, he played Division 1, like almost made the show, whatever. You've got him playing down way too low because his friends are on a team. I'm on a team that has a guy like that, and we get shit on all the time. We still lose games all the time.
What about your bags? Because
my bag does not get shit
okay.
on. Not yet. Anyway, now I'm worried about that.
I could also hit myself with this. Sorry. Wait, let's go back. Let's go back.
Like a quicker soundboard.
Yeah. Hey, what about your bags?
My bag's clean. My bag is clean. But yeah, you've got guys.
Sorry.
You've got guys in every league, and almost every team has one, especially in beer league, who's playing too high for their level. And some of them handle it better than others. You got guys that are going to make plays, and you've got guys that are going to light up the goalie because he has nothing better going on in his life than this Tuesday night game. And one of those is handled better than.
Holy crap.
Well, I mean, I've seen guys down in rec league, which is like beginner skaters, guys that have never skated before. And you've got, a dude who can go coast to coast and break ankles, and that's all he can do with his life. So he's going to keep doing it season over season. That's not handled or received well by anybody. You just look like a jerk. You don't look cool.
Now you're justifying it because he's got problems at home. So it's okay. All right. So poor Chad.
Even if he doesn't, maybe he lives a wonderful life at home. Yeah. And he comes to the rink and
that's not what you said. And now I'm worried. Poor Chad here. He might be the unlucky guy we pick. He's got problems at home, and now he's got someone shitting in his hockey bag. And you're saying that he's going to think that he feels more loved because of that. I think I'm getting some bad intel here. I think you're setting me up for failure.
I think you're starting to throw me under the bus.
Well,
so now we're in
that's why I bring in co-host. That's why I need someone just to gently throw under the bus every so often, because I will blame it on you.
I feel like if I wasn't a goalie, this wouldn't be happening.
Let it be known, let it be written. I love goalies. I have one on my show voluntarily. She didn't force herself on. I invited her. Nick loves goalies. The year 2021 is the year of the goalie in my books.
Oh, wow. You're the goalie.
You're the goalie. Nick loves goalies.
I want that on a t-shirt.
I'll put it on there. Okay. So interesting.
I went off on like a sidebar.
Yeah. But hey, that's why we have podcasts, so we can just talk about whatever pops into our heads. But where I was going with Jason Palmaville, I was trying to be a professional podcaster, and I was going to segue this into NHL talk. We got an ex-NHLer playing beer league into NHL talk. Today they just kind of, I don't know if they confirmed, but they confirmed basically that there's a proposed division realignment in the NHL for like a 52, 56 game schedule. I can't remember the exact number there.
56.
It's a great year. That's the year Elvis Presley broke onto the scene, 1956, with Heartbreak Hotel, probably his biggest hit there.
I'm speechless.
Why I know that doesn't matter.
That little tidbit come from?
I'm a man that knows a lot of things. All right, I know a little bit
or just
about
a lot of things about Elvis.
I do know a lot of things about Elvis. I'm also a beer league expert. I basically know everything about goalies because I've had to do my research because 2021 is the year of the goalie. So I'm preparing myself.
Decision made today, research already done.
I've just started it right now, and I already know basically everything. But this proposed division realignment, have you checked it out? Have you seen? A
little bit, but please enlighten me more.
Well, I mean, the West, they basically have all Canadian division. So all the Canadian teams are in their own little island up here with their free healthcare and apparently not enough vaccines. Like the big hullabaloo here is how Justin Trudeau really let people down because we're back of the line. I don't even know what that means. But then you have the East with the Bruins, the Sabres, the Canes, the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Capitals. The Central with the Blackhawks, the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, the Panthers. How are the Panthers in the Central? The Predators, the Penguins, the Blues, the Lightning. Well, Lightning are there too, I guess. West, Ducks, Coyotes, Avalanche, Stars, Kings, Wild, Sharks, and Golden Knights. I guess I agree with all that except for those two Florida teams there. You have the Lightning and the Panthers. That's a little weird, but maybe they just needed to even out the divisions. And so I'm excited. I don't give two fucks about the East, about the Central, about the West, but that Canadian division is going to be absolutely electric. And I'll tell you why. Because
enlighten us all.
Anytime that there is a year or a chance that the Flames are going to get to beat the Oilers and the Canucks 10 times a year, I'm all for it. It's going to be absolutely insane. They're going to win every single game against those two teams, and I'm just going to shit talk the Oilers and the Canucks all year. And added bonus, I get to shit talk the Maple Leafs too when the Flames beat them.
You can shit talk the Maple Leafs anytime. That's just
I'm going to shit talk the Oilers and the Canucks anyway. But I can't really shit talk the Senators because they're trash. I can't shit talk the Canadians. Fair. Yeah, I can't shit talk the Canadians because I can't understand a goddamn word their fans say. And the Jets, whatever they got.
You just lost every French Canadian follower you've ever had.
They don't understand. Listen, I like.
They don't want to be here anyway.
Yeah, they don't want to be a part of Canada. I'm not trying to alienate them. I'm just saying I can't understand a damn word that they're saying because I don't know French.
Trying to alienate them,
but
you are.
I'll tell you what. When you go to Montreal and the good-looking Montreal women start speaking French, I'm listening then.
Listening, but not understanding.
Don't need to at that point. But when we're talking hockey, all I know is le puck. When they say le puck, I'm like, all right, I got you. Hockey, got it. Or do they say le hockey? I don't know. What? I don't know what they say.
So this is all just like a fantasy that you've.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of these weird things in my head, but they do. There's like a Day Canadian Montreal Hockey Club, however they say that in French. So whenever they say hockey, I listen, but I don't understand anything else they're saying. They could be saying they're the greatest team in the NHL, which is untrue. And
you would agree?
I would. Depends on who's talking. If it's a surly French dude with a cigarette that's just I'm probably not going to listen to him. But if it's a pretty girl,
what if he's offering you a poutine?
Ooh, yep. You
gonna lie for that food?
I'm all in for the poutine. Go Habs, go. So
I want to clip that too. By the way,
clip it. Good thing we're not on video because that would make it wrong. So what are you thinking about the division? Who's your team, by the way?
I already said this. The Sabres are my team.
Yeah, I thought you were making a joke though.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. I gotta go. You. Wow, look at that. Look at the time. I've got somewhere to be. Sabre. I played growing up in Buffalo. My mom's side of the family's in Buffalo, and that's where my hockey love came from. So that's where it lies. And I just could never be a Leafs fan. I'm not that kind of person. I do have Leafs fans in my family. I have Habs fans in my family as well, which is embarrassing. But yeah, Sabres are my team, and one of my favorite things to do is watch a Sabres-Leafs game, and now that's not going to get to happen. So that's a little disappointing, but... Well,
I would say maybe in the playoffs, but we're talking about the Leafs
hilarious.
And the Sabres. Nailed it!
It would hurt if it wasn't so true.
Hey, I just spit facts. that's... these aren't hot takes. This is just... widely accepted facts. Okay.
I'll give you this one.
Okay. So you're from Buffalo. What's your favorite wing in Buffalo?
I'm not from Buffalo.
You lived in Buffalo. You're right across the.
I played hockey there.
Oh, okay. Well, but you said you were outside of Niagara, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically Buffalo.
Side. Sure. I don't know. I mean, I can be a jerk and just say like Anchor Bar.
Oh yeah, the old
The wings
tourist
are
trap.
bomb. And like I'm gonna beat you to the punch here. Blue cheese. I do blue
Get out of here.
cheese, and anybody can fight me about it.
Hey,
Come at me, roast me, whatever. Blue cheese over
found
ranch
my
all day. I don't
excuse.
care if I'm in the Midwest.
Found my excuse. Yeah, I don't mind Anchor Bar. I definitely like Duff's and Bar Bill way better than
Yeah.
than Anchor Bar. Have I tried
Duff's
another
is
one? I've tried one more. Gabe's Gate. I've tried Gabriel's Gate too. They were pretty good.
okay. You can't go wrong really anywhere. Like you're gonna get a decent wing anywhere, but Duff's is phenomenal. The rest of their food is great too.
Did you see when I
Anchor
smuggled
Bar's
in ranch to Duff's?
I ignore all ranch everything.
I stuck because when I first time I went to Buffalo, they told me I wouldn't be able to take ranch, so I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, probably the greatest wing bar in Buffalo Wild Wings, and my reasoning is really easy.
All of Buffalo
Hey,
just canceled you.
really, I mean, listen, it's common sense, right? Only the best of the best is going to become a nationally recognized chain. And
That's how that works.
Buffalo
Yeah,
Wild
definitely.
Wings is there. And so you just have to go on the common knowledge that Buffalo Wild Wings is probably the best wing place in Buffalo. That's not, again, not hot takes, just widely accepted facts. But
I gotta go.
I went into Buffalo Wild Wings when I went there. I was like, hey, do you guys sell ranch? Like, yeah, why wouldn't we sell ranch? We're the greatest wing place out of Buffalo. And I was like, okay, correct. And so I bought some ranch, and then I went into Duff's, and I was like, I just snuck ranch in, didn't get in trouble. And then turns out they actually sell ranch, so it's not like I was lied to. So not only like I'm okay with people having a different opinion and liking their own things, but all the Buffalo folks lied to me and said I wouldn't be able to eat ranch, and I was. So I feel
They were
lied to.
trying to sway you into eating that blue cheese. They didn't want you to try for the ranch because I don't know. There's something about I don't love a ranch. The variation in ranch gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. Like you can go to one place, their ranch is all right. You go to another place, their ranch is trash.
Got to get that running.
Like I'm
sure.
in the Midwest now, and ranch is a really passionate topic here.
Mm-hmm,
I'm not as passionate about it because you give me blue cheese as an option any day, and that's what I'm taking.
I can have restaurants that I like to go to, and I can like the food at all the restaurants, but I will actively avoid a restaurant that has shitty ranch, even though I like their food.
That's silly.
Like,
That's
for example,
absolutely silly. No,
for example,
don't do that.
the best wing place here in Calgary is called Mugshots. Incredible wings. They're garlic parm, they're sultry ginger, just
Sultry ginger?
Oh, have you ever had like ginger beef, like Chinese food ginger beef?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's what it tastes like, but on a chicken wing. It's absolutely.
But they make it sexy.
Oh, it's sexy. It's sexy as fuck for sure. But
Got it.
like, I will not go there if I have to eat even though they're my favorite wings. I'll take them to go get the Buffalo Wild Wings ranch on my way home. Boom, right there.
Why don't you pull like a middle-aged lady and bring your own ranch into the restaurant?
I have. That's what I did to Duff's. Like, I'm not afraid of that. But I also,
you'll do it in Buffalo, but you're not going to do it in your own.
I live here. I don't shit in my backyard.
But you'll shit in a hockey bag.
Yeah, you're goddamn right I will. It's not mine. I'm not gonna shit in my hockey bag. Would you?
No.
Yeah. So who would, right? So I can do
that.
I was incognito in Buffalo, and so I was able to make a little, hidden cam footage. It was a good video. People loved it. So, but anyway, all right. So you're in. You like the division realignment. Other than you're not going to get to see the Sabres.
I'm fine with it. I'm just happy we have hockey.
I am too.
That's really what it is.
Are you guys playing hockey back over in the Chicagoland area? How's that going?
Most places are not playing hockey right now. So there's some spots that are playing some down low hockey still, which is great. We're doing some private skates, which is nice, but a lot of the leagues are shut down right now and have been for a while. So we're hoping for a better start to the new year and be able to get back out on the ice a little safer.
COVID really sucks.
COVID sucks a lot. I don't think enough people are talking about that.
Hey,
I think hot take, but COVID sucks.
But hey, yeah. But hey, can we talk about how rad it was that the UK started vaccines today, and an old lady, like a 90-year-old, was the first one. The second Do you know who the second person was to get the vaccine? William Shakespeare.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
Yep.
That's his real name.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's being dubbed like the gentleman of coronavirus or something. The gentleman of COVID.
I love that we're like making a mockery of
at some point
global pandemic.
Hey, at some point you have to laugh. Like what else?
Yeah.
Like you can sit around and be all upset and sad and I'm sad. I'm pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just had to.
Have you had it?
No, but we just had to cancel. We had to cancel Philadelphia outdoor tournament today because like the rink is like, we can't open in 2020. We can't promise that we're going to open in 2021. And so what am I going to do? I'm not going to wait around and keep people's money and then, have to last minute spring it on them. So like, I'm sad, but like, you have to laugh, like you have to stay in good spirits. And like, I think, and a lot of people, my partner, Randy Bishop, we're solely on the people are just tired of bad news and being unhappy. So let's bring some laughs and bring some fun. We need good things like hockey bag poop,
like dog videos and hockey bag poop.
Dogs pooping in hockey bags. Why not?
Dogs. Okay, so I have a relatively related story. I have a hilarious dog named Moose. He is the weirdest dog I've ever met in my life, but he's also very handsome, which is great because he's super dumb. So otherwise he would be a travesty.
I have that problem myself. So.
It's just personally.
It's just good thing I'm handsome because I'm dumb as shit.
That's what I've heard about you. Yeah. No, but he when he was a little puppy, I brought him to the rink and into the locker room, like the guys' locker room after a game, and he was wandering around, whatever. He chose the one bag of the one guy that we all didn't want on the team, and he peed on it, and it was the best thing he's ever done.
Was it Chad that has problems at home?
It was Chad that has problems.
Knew it.
Home. So we did lose the rest of the season, but it was worth it.
Worth it? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So interesting. So yeah. So I mean, I just think we just need more happy stuff, more fun stuff, more tongue in cheek. But it's so hard because everyone gets offended over a lot of things these days. So even your jokes have to, like, we're probably going to get hate mail about pooping in people's bag and about how disrespectful this would be. And so, I mean, basically it makes me want to do just a whole show about poop, like the beer league poop hour, BLPA.
Is that going to be one of the podcasts coming out?
Yeah. I want to, my goal is like, I want to have 5 podcasts, not me, but I just want to have 5 different podcasts, one every day of the work week. And, we'll get people through the world with a laugh and maybe a cry. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know, but,
be crying over the poopcast for
it'll be so funny for sure. I think I don't care who you are, except for, I mean, I guess there are some Karens and some Chads that it's a very few, but 99.99% of the people think poop jokes are funny. Cause it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Poop and fart jokes are great.
They're incredible. I mean, I don't understand why someone would be like, if someone listens to this show and they're in the BLPA and they know who I am and they think that I'm seriously considering pooping in someone's bag, they're right. And I think it's hilarious. And I'm not.
I was going to say they're wrong because you were absolutely trying to pawn that off on me. So
they're wrong. I'm going to get somebody else to do the dirty work for me.
And then you're going to claim all of the rewards.
Listen,
views and the content that come along.
So
with it.
The way the world works is there's the minds that think about it and make it happen, and then there's the people that do it. You need both. Right.
There's a pinky and there's a brain.
You need both. Right. And hey, sometimes I'm pinky and the brain, but I would much prefer just to be the brain.
I like that you took a second to think about that to make sure that you didn't mess up.
Sometimes I want to just be the pinky too, but the brain doesn't stop working just because I want to go out and be in front of things. Right. So
just because you want to go out and poop in a hockey bag.
Well, I don't know if I want to. I feel like I need to. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, it stinks that some of these events are kind of getting canceled. But now this is not a political statement.
Can't wait to hear what this is.
I'm super stoked that the vaccine's rolling out. I hope whoever wants to get it goes and gets it. If you don't want to get it, listen, all I do is I listen to science. I trust that the people that are doing science are using science for good. If I'm a scientist myself, and I try to only do.
It's, you know what? I could tell by the way that you said doing science that you were definitely a scientist.
I'm a scientist, and I like to do good science. Sometimes I've done some bad science before. That it's part of the game. You do enough good science, you're going to do some bad science, right? And you're going to.
That's what they always say about science. That's what I keep hearing.
And occasionally you're going to do some weird science. So it's just, I'm a scientist, right? And so I just have to believe that science is trying to do good stuff, and they're not going to try to turn us into zombies. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm way too trusting. I know that the government is nefarious for trying to control their people. I get that. I'm not saying go get the vaccine or you're a dumb motherfucker. I'm saying that, you know, this could be the beginning of the end. I'm super stoked about that possibility. A light at the end of the tunnel. I got a lot of goddamn events to do. I got a lot of hockey to play.
Yeah, this is very important to you.
I got a lot of hockey to play. I got a lot of ball games to host. I got a lot of beer leaguers to go out and get drunk with.
Yeah, we need to be able to have a beer.
We have to. And listen, I've been trying to recruit you. I'm putting on tournaments, and I'm like, hey, this one's close to you. And so, you know, one of the reasons is, go ahead.
I'm ready. I'm in.
You told me you had questions, and that's what you wanted to talk about on the show, is you wanted to ask about the tournaments. And I thought that was a good idea, because if you have questions, that means that there's probably other people that have questions about what we're trying to do. And so hit me with your questions. And then I have kind of a semi, like partway announcement. It's not a full-fledged.
Either way you say it is not great. Okay. When you just say a semi. I'm not sure about how to
listen,
say it.
I have a semi right now, but it's a semi announcement. It's not a fully hard announcement. But it's not a flaccid announcement. It's just a semi announcement.
Just a little soft.
It's just a tad bit soft. I got to firm things up before it's a full on announcement. And but I want to get it out because I think it's really rad. And it's definitely one of those. It's a brain. It's the brain announcement. It's not a pinky thing. It's the brain part of it, right? So go ahead with your questions, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this, and then we'll talk about my semi announcement.
So this might be like not exciting for other people, but I would love to hear, especially the draft experience. That's something I've never seen anybody else do. You know, you bring your buddies and a team and you go and do a tournament. That's the only experience that I've ever had. So tell me why the draft experience.
Well, I mean, the draft, it's exactly what you said. Like, there's a lot of people that do gather up your team, bring them up, play your 3 games, get your shit pushed in, and go home. Like that. That's a lot of people's tournament experiences. And I thought it would be a way, there's a way different way to do it. And I'm not saying better, because there's still room for those team tournaments, but there's a way to do those better too. And I know you're going to ask about those too, but the draft is basically what the BLPA is about. And it's not, sure, we're playing hockey or we're playing ball or we're playing golf, but we're not really there to win. Like, you're not winning a trophy. And if you win, every team makes a championship, A final, B final, C final. Doesn't really matter who wins. What matters is basically everything outside of playing hockey. Hockey's fun. I love hockey. I love playing hockey. I grew up playing baseball and football, but hockey is by far my passion, what I love to do. But I love more hanging out after hockey games, before hockey games, with people that are just the same as me. They love being involved in the game. They love hanging out with other people. They love having beer. I would go so far as to say, I don't even want to play hockey. I just want to drink beer in the locker room or the parking lot with my friends.
No,
I'm kind of forced.
Reel that back.
I'm kind of forced to play the hockey, and it's good because most of the time I just stay on the bench and crack jokes. So, but yeah, no, and you know, I'm facetious. I want to play hockey. But I mean, when you think the draft, it's way more the social aspect, the being involved with people, And I mean, as a team manager myself, not having to gather up a whole team for the weekend. Like I can just pay for myself. I can show up. We make beer chugging rounds. So that's the way we make teams, is by beer chugging contests. And you don't have to be experienced. You don't have to have any skill. If you're a beginner player, you're in a beginner round. Every team has a beginner or two. Every team has ringer in air quotes. I mean, and then a mix in between. And it keeps the games pretty even. I mean, throughout the summer, the Dex Express, we probably had 2 tournaments where one team might have been way better, and only one where I think it was an issue. All the other games were pretty close. And so, it's really just, it's a different flavor, a different experience. And they're expensive. I get it. More expensive than normal tournaments. When I left the other company that I was doing them with, I mean, they're charging $500 before you even travel somewhere. And so my goal with the tournament company and the draft experience was to make it more affordable and more accessible. But I still understand that they're still expensive. But I think people should come out and try them. And I guarantee you come out and try them, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is awesome. I want to do more of them. I haven't heard anyone come, at least not yet, that said, this sucked, I'm never coming back. But, you can't please 100% of the people, I guess.
That's true. I really I love the idea, because I have always said that hockey is one of the best sports to get involved with if you're looking to find a community that's probably going to turn into family, if not like really great friends. When I moved here to Illinois, I didn't know anybody. And so when I moved out to the suburbs and started playing hockey, that's where I met all my friends. My best friend right now, who I actually live with, I met through hockey. Everybody I know out here, I met through hockey, and they're all like family to me right now. And I feel like that's the case pretty much everywhere you go. So being able to do something like the draft experience, it's like almost guaranteed to make new friends, which sounds 100%. Stupid, but as an adult, you never get the chance to do that, especially hockey people. They're a special brand of people.
You're right. We don't touch on that enough, that it's freaking hard to make friends as an adult. Like I moved to Calgary when I was 30 maybe. And so all my friends are back in Oklahoma. The only social kind of gatherings for me are hockey. Right. And so it's like, I'm not going to go out to a bar by myself and just sit there and strike up conversation. I do have that ability. Like I'm not afraid to do that, but it's like, I don't know. That just doesn't sound like my cup of tea. Like I want to hang out with like-minded people. I want to drink beer. I want to play sports. And I say I want to compete. I do like to win. I mean, let's not get that twisted. I love winning. But I've also realized that that's not, what am I really winning at the end of the day, right? And so, yes, I've yelled at refs. Yes, I've yelled at, other players. Yes, I've chirped people. I think all of us kind of get caught up in that moment every now and again. But at the end of the day, for the draft experience, it's not about that. It's about, like I'm going to bring in a religious term, not jumping on religious, but it's fellowshipping with fellow adult athletes, in air quotes. So that's what the draft experience is about. And they are a lot of fun. I love them. But I also know there's other ways to play sports, and I'm not one to say, hey, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do them always.
But there's plenty of other opportunities for people to go and play a traditional tournament everywhere. You know what I mean? Like everybody has, as an adult, if you're playing tournaments, if you're playing sports, the people that are running tournaments that you like, the style of tournament you like, and to be able to find something that's a little bit different than what you're used to is amazing. So that's awesome. And then in the same tone, you've got the BLPA bash situation going on, and I am stoked about the idea. I think it's like hilarious, like just on paper hilarious, and a logistical nightmare from like my organizational standpoint, but also a ton of fun. Like that seems like such a like college frat party situation, but in the best way, because you're with hockey people. So tell me more about like how that idea came to life.
Well, I think when you think, a lot of people, when they think about their best times in life, it's funny you brought that up. I mean, they think college, and they think partying with their buds and frats, sororities, whatever. And like the goal wasn't to make it a big frat party, but I guess it kind of was. You said, you can go out and find these experiences, but I always just wanted to do things different. And by different, I mean my own way and put my own little spin on it. And being a hockey player myself that goes out to, I mean, I played a ton of tournaments. I'm going to venture to say that I probably have been to the most tournaments out of anyone in the last 6 years, because it's all I've done for a living. I've traveled around, I've hosted tournaments, I've been at events. And so I've seen a lot of these, and I've went as a player that's not running tournaments, and I've seen kind of how they are. And some of them suck. And
yeah, I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat that. It's also so good for tournament organizers to get that perspective, player perspective from people who have behind the scenes perspective.
Yeah. And so even when we'd go to tournaments and we'd shit kick teams, I'd feel bad for the teams, because I'm like, well, what's their experience? And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't our fault per se. Like, we didn't know we had this really good team that would. It's just so hard to kind of. It's hard to get levels right when you travel across borders, and hard, yes, not impossible. There can be a lot more legwork done on the front end by tournament coordinators, but a lot of and I'm not throwing a bunch of tournament coordinators under the bus. I'm not saying I'm the best tournament provider in the world. I'm just one of them. But I'm saying that there's a lot of times in my experience where we go to a tournament, and once they get your money, they don't really care about on ice. And I get it. I'm a business guy. This is how I make my living. But I also know if I can take those steps on the front end to I'm not going to get it perfect. I know that. We're not going to get it perfect. But as long as we're trying, and it's not a, hey, give me your money. All right, you're in. I don't care what happens to you. That's just not the way that I view things. Like, I want you, Trish Dangle, to have an incredible experience, not only with your team, but with me and the experience around it, so that when you go back, you can say, he really cares about what's going on. I'm always going to come back and play with him because his passion is there. His caring about our experience is there. And so, like, that's something that I really pride myself in, is that I'm not afraid to call, like, if your team, like, oh, I'm in this league, like, I'll find someone that plays in the league. I'll find a director that runs the league, and I'll say, hey, tell me a little bit about your league. And that way, like I said, I'm not getting it perfect. Our tournament's not getting it perfect, but we're taking steps to try to make it better. And my goal is to eradicate ringers from the game. Not don't let them play, but just let them play where they're on the same playing field with the other teams. Because I can't tell you how much it sucks to go be out with your team, your boys, your crew. And when I say your boys and girls, that falls into the same thing. Your y'alls. Yep. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people out with their y'alls, and just, I mean, they're having a great time, but then there's that one guy on the other team that it doesn't matter what they do. He's going to score 5 goals, and he's going to stop them from getting in the zone. And it just sucks. And there's gotta be ways to mitigate that. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying there's a lot of tough calls that have to be made, and you're probably going to make one team unhappy, but on the flip side, you'll make 5 other teams in the division really happy. And so it's how do you do that? And that's kind of the hard part. And I mean, it's weird to say this, but like 80% of my job is worrying about that kind of stuff, right? Like the talking on a podcast, easy. I like to talk. The hosting the event, easy, because I'm just having a good time. But the preparation that goes into it is really what takes a lot of the time and effort to do. And sometimes, I think a lot of people think, oh, running tournaments is easy because they've seen these guys just collect money, sit back and not care. But that's so, like, the tournament company, that's not what we're about. And I tell people, like, come out, you'll see a difference. Like, we love what we do. We love hosting these. And if you're not having fun, then we're not doing our job.
All right. So the whole experience, like, going to be a great party, obviously. Tons of awesome hockey people. Great. But yeah, logistically, with the parity between teams, how do you handle that because as a tournament organizer, like, I've been on the other side of that. Once your brackets and everything are set, it's really hard to move that around. Like, once your divisions are set, like, jumbling that about is actually quite difficult, and like figuring out how to deal with that is hard. So what do you do when you have a team that, like, they're clearly a B team, they've come in C, and like they're sandbagging everybody? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough one, because you have to kind of weigh kind of what went on. Like, did you talk to him up front? Is it actually your fault, like my fault as the tournament organizer that allowed it, or is it these guys just being dickbags? And so, yeah, I mean, that's a hard one. I can give you a little anecdote. The first tournament I ever ran in Oklahoma City on Labor Day, it was called the Labor Day Classic. And I remember I thought it would be really cool if we gave away free sticks to the division winners. And we had 4 divisions. And I knew that offering a prize like that would bring in sandbaggers. So I was very adamant on the front end of it, saying, this is what we expect, you know, who's on your team, where are they playing? And we had a team come from Texas, and I know 100%, I talked to them 50 times. This is the division. It looks like your team's a little bit better. No, none of these guys are that good. They didn't play, yada, yada, yada. Come down to it, like they were playing in the bottom division, and they won 10-0 their first game. And I was like, okay. And so I talked to their captain. They said, oh, just lucky. You know, I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch. Start. Yeah, I didn't get to watch their game, right? And so I said I'm gonna watch games. Like that's just how it's gonna be. And so I was watching, and the next game they were up 4-0 after the first 5 minutes, and then so I'm standing there, and I see one of their guys point up at the bench, and then they start cooling it off, and it just came down to, like, I felt that they misrepresented themselves, but they also paid to play in the tournament. So you can refund them and give them their money back, which stinks because you've already paid for all that stuff. So what I did is I just said, okay, I'm going to give you your 3 games. You're guaranteed 3 games. Play your 3 games, but it's not going to be 1 and 2 in the championships, right? It's going to be 2 and 3 because you guys aren't going to be able to play in the championship and play for the sticks. And they were so pissed. Like, they were livid. They threatened to kick my ass. They talked so much shit. But I mean, the other 4 or 5 teams in that division, they loved it. And I still get random comments like, hey, remember that time back in 2011 when you kicked that team out? And they're like, that was really cool of you. And so, you know, not to toot my own horn, but at some point you have to just do the right thing. If it's my fault, like if I feel like I didn't go out of my way to make sure that this was it, then you have to do other stuff. Like maybe it's you have an extra championship game somewhere, right? Just to do that. So, I mean, there are different options, but it is hard. Like it's not an easy thing. And who knows if you're going to get 6 Division I teams, you get, you know, 9 Division II teams and 3 Division I teams. Well, what do you do? Well, you got to figure something out because you can't play a division with 3 teams, right? You got to have at least 4 teams to make a division. And so, and then there's ice realities too, right? Like if you say, okay, you have this, well, hey, you're going to have to play in the A. I'll always tell teams they got to play up. I won't ever say you got to play down because it wasn't that long ago that I was a beginner, and it sucks to play, even as a beginner, to play a guy that's played 2 or 3 seasons. If you just started playing, like it's just
the difference fair. There is huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, I used to run a program called Discover Hockey, and it basically took players that had never played hockey before in their life, and it took them through a 12-week program, and then they were a hockey team, and it graduated like 1,500 new players every year in Alberta. And so what I would always tell these people is they would play they have 8 sessions and 4 scrimmage games against another team in the program. And I'd always say, okay, focus on playing these teams from your scrimmage, the guys that came out with you, because you're going to step in and you're going to be in the league with guys that came out last session. And the first few games, they're going to beat the hell out of you. But guess what? When the next group comes out, you're going to be able to see how good you are compared to them. So you can kind of see how you progress, right? So there is a big skill level, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I know people are like, oh, this is just hockey tournaments, but to me, it's more than hockey tournaments because people are spending their money to come play. So you kind of have to, you got to give them the old razzle dazzle sometimes, right? I mean, you want them to have fun. You want it to be different. You want them to be like, that's why I came to the BLPA bash. I came because of that. I came because of the show that's around it, not just for the hockey. The hockey's the hockey. They do a good job trying to work hard, but at the end of the day, it's what you build outside of the hockey that really sets things apart, at least in my opinion. And that's what my focus is. That's why you hear me say all day barbecue kegger. We're going to set up, we're going to be grilling burgers and dogs and whatever food we have. And we're going to have beer and you guys can come and take part. And that's where you kind of bring that draft mentality of, I'm not just here with my team, I'm here with everyone here playing hockey. And that's how you connect them. And that's why the BLPA was built, really.
I think that community piece is so important and just so much fun because, like, I don't know, I played growing up, obviously, and you played baseball growing up, even with softball for me. Like, going away for a weekend to a tournament was where all the fun happened.
100%.
That's where, like, you were jamming out in the hotel room way too late. You were having shenanigans all day long because you were there with your team all day long. And, like, being able to do that as an adult is not only, like, nostalgia for those of us that played sports growing up, but also just like a super fun experience for the rest of the adults that like have to live in the real world all the time. Like, being able to go away for a weekend and it's not like a vacation, you still get to do like that fun thing that you pay to do during the week, but now you get to do it with a bunch of other people from all over the place that also love doing it and make those connections.
And that hopefully you care about, and then they in turn care about you, or at least starting that process to the best time I ever had at a tournament. I remember we went to the KC shootout and we drove an RV there. We had a blast, not only with our team, but we met a team called Hooters that we played with in the championship game. And then we became good friends with them. Like, we'd chat with them online. We'd talk about what tournaments are you going to, and we'd meet up. And so for us, it's how do we build that connection and make this, like you say, family. I don't like saying family just because I think there's some negative. You don't get to pick your family, but you do get to pick your friends, and so your crew. And so I always thought, how can we make that an emphasis? Like, how do you make the crew part the emphasis? How do you bring that draft mentality to a team tournament? How do you bring that draft hockey mentality to a draft softball or a draft golf event? And so that's what I spend my time focus on, and just trying to, like I said, do good, fun things that people are tired of hearing about bullshit. Like, even me, like, I'm tired of all the negativity in the BLPA, and maybe I feed into it sometime because I make the ranch and blue cheese jokes, knowing that there's going to be a lot of debate, but I hate when it devolves into name calling and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm super stoked about 2021. As soon as we can get those first couple months, and hopefully this vaccine does make a difference and we can get to moving on, I think it's going to be an incredible year.
Definitely. I'm excited to have my first tournament company experience.
Hell yeah. So any more questions before I make this big semi announcement?
You know what? All of my questions are going to be way too nerdy. No one's going to be excited about them. They're all from my like organizational brain. So I'll save those for offline conversation.
Oh, okay. All right. So big semi announcement, not quite rock solid hard yet, but it's getting there. We got a little work to fluff it up, but there was a big thing that went around about, some places, kind of disrespecting other places, and in turn disrespecting the military. And I love the military. I wasn't in the military. I probably don't have the courage and the bravery to have ever been in the military, and I respect the shit out of those guys. And this made me think, like, we never say thank you enough to these guys. And so I was like, what can I do in the same vein of what I'm doing and creating? Like, how can I honor the military? And I think I've figured it out. And if anyone tries to take this idea, you're a fucking idiot. You listen here. This is
no,
where
I've already trademarked it. Don't worry.
Shit. I'm going to do a draft experience, and it's going to be the only people that can play are active and veteran military players. But the kick is the people that play in it aren't going to have to pay a dime to play.
Yeah. Excited about this.
They just have to register. They just have to show up and say they want to be a part of it. And this is how I'm going to say thank you to these guys. And listen, I know there's way more than a 6-team tournament's worth of people in the military that want to take advantage, but baby steps. So I'm trying to source this out, find out how it can work. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to donate, money to make it happen. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of other companies that want to get involved. In fact, a lot of people that I've kind of broached this idea to have said, okay, this sounds really cool. And then we're going to use it as a way to also raise money for some military charities. I'm a huge fan of Skate for the 22, an organization that is very active in getting military guys the help they need to deal with depression and not being a part of the brotherhood anymore, per se brotherhood, but not being in that, how do you say it? Like the team kind of, in the military type thing. And there is I guess you would say it's an epidemic really of 22 military people take their own lives every day. And so they're trying to educate people on military suicide prevention and awareness. So love those guys. I love the guy that started it. And then also like the warrior programs that are using hockey to make the world a better place. I'm all for that. So we're going to find a way to turn not only giving these military guys a free chance to come out and play in a draft experience, but also to find a way to give back to those charities as well. So that's my semi announcement. Just getting you, a little bit excited. And I'm going to find a way to, usually when I say it, I like to think when I say something, I'll make it happen. And so that's why I'm putting it out there, because I'm a huge believer of you should speak things into reality. And so I'm speaking this into reality. Now we just got to make it happen.
Yeah. I was a little bit worried about the content of that announcement, but I actually really like that. And I think we should get that all the way hard. Let's get that one all the way hard.
Yes, ma'am. And listen, I'm not a type that makes bad announcements. So, I mean, I don't know what you were really expecting. So
I wasn't expecting bad, but worrying.
Oh, okay. You're maybe just a little apprehensive.
Controversial, maybe.
No,
I was apprehensive. That's safe to say.
Me, I'm not controversial at all. All right. Is there anything else we need to, I mean, we've gone an hour and 18 minutes now. Is there anything else we've got to cover?
Don't think so.
I have failed
something
you.
I've forgotten.
I have failed you as a podcast host. I did this to Kara too. We didn't announce where they can find you on social media. Isn't that just shitty?
And because they can't find
you're
me
a ghost?
Anywhere. I am, I'm private on Instagram. My Twitter's inactive. I do, if you want to follow my dog on Instagram, he's public.
Okay,
so
but
great.
you can chat with.
You can find me on Discord.
Yeah, you can chat with her in the BLPA Discord. She's very active. She's kind of like, she didn't volunteer or even ask, but I just kind of made her like the person that runs our Discord. Like I just started asking questions and she was answering them, and so I was just like, what about this? And so she finally is like, I'll fucking do it. Like, just leave me alone. And so it seems to be working
I got
out.
muscled into that.
Well, voluntold. So other than that, hey, what do you think about being on the Nick and Co show / BLPA Big Show?
Well, under the BLPA Big Show, loved it.
Okay.
Wish I had more to contribute, but happy to be here as a sounding board. So great to be here with you.
Oh,
in general, never know what's coming out of
ever,
that side of the podcast.
All right. So. Well, hey, I appreciate that, and I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope everyone else did. If you think that if you think Trish Dangle needs to be on more shows, hey, let us know. We're doing a tryout. We want people that want to be badass beer league podcasters. I see you have potential, especially in the name. Trish Dangle. Yeah. So
the name's really the strongest thing I have going.
Well, you have to start somewhere. When we get to feats of
physical strength, I might be okay, and I'll work on the chugging.
Okay. Well, we'll take videos. I think what we'll do. I wish we could find a way to sync up all the videos and just do a chug, and then we could do a competition. But we're gonna have to get everyone out at a draft experience, and then we can just all chug in person. Make bad decisions, because that's also a large part of hockey tournaments. Right, I think.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I've made a lot of bad decisions, and most of them involve, should I have one more? Usually a bad decision.
The answer's always yes.
I know, and it's always a bad decision.
Always yes, but also no at the same time.
Well, the problem is Randy, the co-owner of Tournament Co., my business partner, he I don't know if I can say this. He makes his own moonshine. And
we're gonna throw that under the S word.
Hey, and I'll be honest with you, like when you look,
moonshine fairy.
When you look at the guy, you wouldn't think he makes moonshine. I mean, he's only like, got a big long mullet, and he's goofy as fuck, and so yeah, not the type of guy. Okay, when you look at him,
he has that T-shirt that says "I make moonshine."
Yeah. Okay. When you look at Randy, you're like, yeah, that guy definitely does some shining. And it's incredible. It's incredible stuff. And he's always like, hey, you should have one of these, one more. And I'm like, no, yeah, let's do it. And it's always a bad decision. So
sounds about right. That sounds about like the Universal tournament experience.
For sure.
Weekend experience even.
All right. Do you want to say bye to the peoples?
Yeah, bye people. Hopefully I get to talk to you again soon. Sorry for being a goalie. Just wanted to try something new, but I greatly apologize to everybody for doing that.
Hey, if she's not on the show anymore, it's not because she's a goalie. Just throwing that out there. But other than that, guys, hey, thanks for joining us. We love having you listen to us. Hey, if you want to be part of the show, if you have questions, comments, find us on Twitter. Drop them in the BLPA group. Follow us, subscribe. Hey, we need more beer league content, more good stuff in the world. So like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, review, and we'll see you next week. Until then, hey, be good or be good at it. See ya.